In this video, we go over the biggest announcements from DJ Expo 2017. Find out what those are coming up. Thank you for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. Now let's get into the video. So the first company to make big announcements at DJ Expo 2017 has to be Roland. They introduced two new Serato DJ controllers, the DJ-505 and the DJ-202. Now these are two Serato DJ controllers that fill in the gaps in Roland's DJ lineup. You had the DJ-808, which is their top tier DJ controller with 4 channels, 2 USBs, and basically all the bells and whistles you see at all the top end DJ controllers. And now they have a mid-range controller with the DJ-505 and an entry-level controller with the DJ-202. Now with the DJ-808, its biggest selling point was that it included Roland's TR-08 drum machine. This is the first time that a drum machine has actually been included in a Serato DJ controller. And the DJ-505 takes that same DNA and includes it in a smaller 2-channel model. Now this is great because some DJs don't want to take a bigger 4-channel controller to a gig when they only need 2 channels and want to save on space, especially if you're traveling a lot. But if you were a user of the TR-08, you didn't have a choice. You had to bring that bigger 4-channel controller even if you only needed the TR-8 and the 2 channels for the DJ control. The DJ-505 is really just a slimmed down version of the DJ-808 and just has 2 channels, still with the same TR-08 that was included in the 808. But I will say the one feature that I'm sad to see on the DJ-505 is a smaller pitch fader. Now to me, this is a fault of a lot of smaller DJ controllers, and I get it, you want to save on space, but one of the biggest selling points for me for the bigger controllers is that you do get that full length pitch fader, which is so crucial if you're not using sync or you're used to manually beat matching. Now, it can still be done on those smaller pitch faders, and any DJ can get around that's worth his salt on something like that. So it's not such a big deal, but it's something that I wish they would have included. I'm still really interested in this 505. I really like the 808, but it was big. And if I was to pick up a controller for travel, that would definitely not be it. I mean, the 808 is great for the studio, but now the 505 is kind of like the best of both worlds. You get that same DJ controller / studio, a piece of equipment, but it's slimmed down and made easier for travel. Now the DJ-202 is basically your entry-level Serato DJ mixer. Now this is a step up from something like the Pioneer DJ, DDJ-RB, where you get, something more along the lines of their mid-range controller, and this is Roland's entry-level controller. I really like the layout on this thing. It's basically the same Serato DJ controller layout that we're used to now, but the build quality on this thing, if it's anything like what it is on the DJ-808, is going to be awesome. I really like how they still kept the same Roland IRA looking DNA, but really slimmed it down and made it feel like just a normal DJ controller. So if you're not looking for the kind of, studio equipment feel that you get with the TR-08 included, this DJ-202 definitely fills that gap. And one of the biggest selling points for the 808, and something that I can't see them excluding out of the 505 and 202, are the excellent jog wheels. The jog wheel on the 808 had some of the tightest control we've ever seen on a controller, and I can definitely see Roland adding this into both the 505 and the 202 as a major selling point. For someone that wants an entry-level controller but wants some tight control, especially if you're cutting and scratching and juggling, something that you don't get on some of the cheaper controllers, this is definitely going to fill that gap in Serato DJ's controller lineup. So props to Roland for adding 2 new great pieces of gear. I can't wait to see them, and I can't wait to get my hands on them and test them out. Now the huge news that kind of leaked out a few days early, but we got all the details. They introduced the Rane 72 DJ Battle Mixer, and they introduced the Rane 12. Rane's first DJ controller. Now I'll start with the Rane 12, as this is Rane's first ever DJ controller. They've been asked time and time again to introduce a DJ controller into the market, and I think this is the perfect entry, blending the new technology today, but still keeping that same old school turntable based DJ mentality that Rane's been known for. So some of the standout features include a 12-inch platter with real vinyl and a real slip mat. You get pitch ranges of 8, 16, and 50, so you get your normal Technics 1200 pitch range all the way up to ultra pitch. You get 8 cue buttons, as well as a search scrub strip on the top as well as 45 and 33 RPMs, a really high torque platter, classic layout. I mean, this thing, if you were just to feel it out with your eyes closed, would definitely feel very similar if you're used to playing on turntables. One of the questions that people had about this was that, is it gonna need the actual 72 mixer to function? But Rane clarified that this is another Serato DJ accessory and can plug directly into your computer without the 72 needed. One last cool feature of the Rane 12 is the fact that you get 4 deck control out of 1 controller. So you get buttons at the top left to select what deck you're using. So if you just have the budget for just 1 controller, you get 2 decks worth of control if you're using 2 decks, or even 4 decks if you're brave enough to use 4 decks of turntable control at the same time off of 1 deck. And you don't have to spend money on both decks at the same time to start mixing. You can just start off with 1, which is huge in my opinion, especially because the price of the Rane 12 is retail priced at $799, so it's actually more expensive than a lot of turntables on the market. But with the ability to have multiple decks control, it actually ends up being cheaper if you think about it that way. Either way, I'm definitely gonna pick one of these up. I've been thinking about getting another set of turntables, but Rane definitely blew that idea out of the water, and now all I have my mind set on is a set of Rane 12s. Now, Rane's bigger announcement that made waves at the DMC US Finals a few days ago is the Rane 72 DJ Battle Mixer. This thing looks like a beast. It basically took the Rane 62, the Pioneer 909, and the Pioneer S9, melded it all together, and added features on top of that that make it, in my opinion, the king of battle mixers from this point moving forward. Now, I know there are a lot of Pioneer fans out there, and for good reasons. They make great products. But one of Pioneer DJ's biggest faults with the S9 is definitely the build quality. From faders breaking, to the paint job just totally scratching off with minimal wear, to just even using plastic pots, and some of the build quality is not necessarily shoddy, but somewhat questionable. Rane definitely blew this out of the water with full metal construction, and they reassured us that even though that production is moved overseas from being built in the US, it'll still maintain the strict quality standards that Rane's known for. And that's one question that I've been asking myself ever since InMusic purchased them, is will they still be able to maintain the level of service and maintain the level of actual control over their quality with everything moving overseas? And everything has been assured that the same people are in place checking everything to make sure that all the products are still at the same Rane level of quality, and I can't be happier with that. Now, the first feature that'll definitely catch your eye when you look at this 72 mixer has to be the inclusion of a touchscreen. Not only do you get effects controls, but you also get information piped directly from Serato DJ onto the DJ mixer itself. So you get waveform information, beat grid information, play mode information, as well as the ability to search from your library directly onto the mixer. This means so much less looking at the computer and acting directly with the mixer and interacting with the crowd as well. So keeping your eyes off your mixer and, having full Serato face syndrome and being able to interact more with the crowd and with the actual gear itself is always a plus in my opinion. On top of that, you get the normal 16 performance pads that we saw on basically every Serato DJ controller, and also the S9, as well as the toggle switches that we see on the S9 that also came from the 909 back in the day as well. Now, another thing that Rane's including in this mixer is instead of just having 1 flex effects, you're actually getting 2. So having to choose the effects per channel is no longer an issue. Now you get independent effects controls along with the Serato DJ effects controls that were built into the software on the mixer as well. So you get your 3 Serato effects per deck, as well as 1 flex effect per deck as well. And I couldn't be more happier with the setup. My one gripe with the 62 was that you had to select channels for your effects. I mean, I have the same gripe with the Pioneer, DJM 900, Nexus, and that same lineup as well. So being able to have independent effects controls means even more creativity when coming up with routines, and easier to, in my opinion, to go through a DJ set because you don't have to make sure you have it on the right channel, and just one less thing to think about. One staple of Rane has to be their crossfader. It was definitely a favorite for years, if not decades at this point, among scratchers and turntablists, and Rane has upgraded their technology to what they're calling the Mag 3 system. Now, no one has really got time to really play around with these faders much, at least in public, but the new standout features of this fader has to be the inclusion of the tension adjust, something that we've seen in the DJM S9, and also the ability to change your cut-in point, and you can change your cut-in point without actually having to open up the mixer. The ability to change the cut-in point is handled directly on the touchscreen itself. So that's another feature of this touchscreen that I really love, that you get to customize the mixer with that screen and making it a lot easier than having to do shift functions and all these other things that were done on the 62 in that kind of way. I'm really excited for both Rane products, and I'm definitely going to be getting my hands on this entire setup. I mean, I've held off. I've been thinking about getting an S9 for a long time, but Rane really looks like they hit the ball out of the park with this one. You get the same kind of performance abilities you got out of the S9, but with a way better build quality. I mean, Rane is known for that, and the ability to have the kind of customer service that Rane's been known for, being able to ship your mixer, get it fixed, and get it right back, and just the ability to contact someone that's actually in the US and be able to have that dialogue and get all your issues ironed out is priceless in my opinion when it comes to gear. It can be a headache when a piece of gear breaks down and you need to get it repaired, but Rane has always made it the easiest possible in the industry in my opinion. So I can't wait for these things to come out. All of this gear drops in Q4, so I think I know what my Christmas present to myself will be this year. And I bet a bunch of DJs out there will be making that same purchase. Congrats to Rane, welcome back. Hit it out of the park with both products, and I can't wait for everybody to get their hands on this gear. And I'm sure I'll be seeing it in a lot of DJ booths come 2018. So that's a recap of the biggest news from DJ Expo 2017. So question of the day, what piece of gear are you most interested in? Go ahead and leave that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, if you found this video useful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click right here to subscribe to this channel. Or if you'd like to watch more content, go ahead and click on that video right there. And thanks for watching PDot TV, where you find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. See you next time.